kind of nonsense is this? Back in my day, we just yelled
lost elections.
We
just lost elections and we liked it.
Sounds like something the caliphate would do.
No. We just tried really hard.
I lost my internet. Did anyone else lose their internet?
No. Mine's good.
I just gained mine. I just connected to the Independence Institute. There's some kind of connection limit. I may have kicked you off. I apologize. I'm almost there, guys. All right, I am good. Sorry about that. Thank you, Anna.
Yes. All right, I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 7:07 p.m. Thank you to our visitors and our observers for joining us tonight. Mr. Secretary, I'll go ahead and have you take attendance.
Okay, Chair?
Present.
Vice Chair?
Present.
I'm present. Treasurer? Okay. Affiliates?
Present.
Okay. Campaigns?
Here.
Communications?
Here.
Outreach?
Present.
Fundraising?
Present.
Membership?
Present.
And legislative?
Michael Vance is here.
He said he was restarting his computer. I don't know that he's actually back on.
Okay.
I don't know that it would be polite for me to speculate on what I think Vance might be up to instead of talking. But I think you guys can probably imagine.
Yikes. Should I proceed?
If he's there, I have him on.
He's not. We also have the treasurer now.
Ah, Mr. Williams, hello.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
No worries. We're just at attendance.
So we have everybody.
Okay. Well, I'll open the floor for public comment for any visitor who would like to make a statement tonight.
We got one Hannah in the room.
Mr. Atwood?
Good evening. I'm your liaison to both the Center-Right Coalition and I guess the Approval Voting Party. The Center-Right Coalition had a meeting this morning. Major emphasis and encouragement was to fight both HH and II, the propositions that are going to be on the ballot this November, just around the corner. I also have the Colorado Union of Taxpayer rating of Colorado legislators, if anybody would like it. And as total incidentals, but still might be interested to some of you, there'll be an annular eclipse this Saturday out towards either Albuquerque or Green River, Utah. Encourage you to watch that. And a Center-Right Coalition is trying to protect the urban core and is going to have some sort of forum in the February 29th timeframe. They're rebuilding, trying to rebuild psychiatric care and not enabling addiction. Any questions?
Are there any questions for Mr. Atwood? Great. Thank you for that update.
Thank you.
We're at approval of the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda tonight?
Under new Ms. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Secretary.
under new business, I would like to add some time to discuss our in-person meetings.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Or to discuss our in-person meetings.
Are there any objections to the addition to the agenda? Hearing none, that passes. We all were given the previous minutes from last month, I believe on Wednesday or Thursday. Did everyone take the time to proofread those for the secretary? Are there any corrections to the minutes that need to be made? Hearing none, they're approved as written.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. Could I make an addition to the agenda tonight regarding monetary allocation for the convention location?
Is that, how do we do that now, Mr. Buckvich?
I'm sorry.
It'd be a motion to reconsider something previously adopted, and I think we could all probably just agree that during the unfinished business section, we will take some time.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, it's added.
That was not the
Thanks.
official way to do that, but good enough.
It's like, that's
Sorry.
pretty fast and loose. Sorry. Okay, so now we're at reports from our affiliate representatives. Do we have anyone from Arapahoe tonight? Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Madam Chair, I could speak a little bit on Arapahoe County. We are having our hangout this Thursday or next. Man, I gotta check. I'm sorry, but we're having a hangout, and it's going to be at Max Taps Brewery in. Is it Inglewood? It might be Inglewood.
Yes, I think you're right.
Anyway, it's going to be. I think it is this Thursday, but I'll double check. Other than that, no updates.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from Boulder County? How about Denver County? Douglas?
Wayne Harless for Douglas County. I'll speak very briefly. We had our meeting a couple nights ago. Very nice, had a good group of people and great conversation. We'd love to have anybody join us for the meetings. We have yet to have any board members come down to join us, but we'd love to see you.
Great, thank you. Well, one of the board members does attend. He is a member of your affiliate.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And he's the affiliate's director. But yes, I would definitely encourage any board member that is around to definitely check out our affiliates. I think that's very important. So thank you, Mr. Harlos, for bringing that to our attention. Do we have anyone from El Paso tonight? Jefferson? Mr. Loria, do you want to speak to Jefferson County?
Sure, I can definitely do that since Reed's not on. I was not there, but we had a successful last board meeting. We had Amira, who's our candidate running for school board, and Dr. Thomas Wick, who is the Republican candidate running for school board in District 3 at our meeting. I guess it went very well. One thing that Dr. Wick noted to Amira was how significantly much younger all the people at the LP Jeffco meeting was than at the Republican meetings. So
it's because libertarianism is not only based, it's sexy and young. Do we have any representatives from Mesa tonight? Pueblo, we do not, but I did talk to the chair today. No updates from him. Do we have anyone from that would speak on behalf of Larimer?
I can speak on behalf of Larimer and Weld. So I have unfortunately consistently missed the last few meetups due to work, but we do have one coming up this Wednesday, I believe at, hold on, I'm looking it up. Give me a minute. It's called Union Soda Fountain Bar. I don't know. It's on the north side of Fort Collins, so if anybody wants to come to that, it's just called Union, I think. But it's a soda fountain and bar.
Oh, that sounds fun.
7 to 9.
Great, thank you, Ms. King. Now we're on to reports from our LNC representatives. Ms. Harlos, would you like to speak as the LNC secretary?
Yeah, I never prepare anything, so it's up to you guys, and you know, we have a staff member here for for anything to add. Things have been quite hectic, but I do think things are really taking a radical turnaround. We had over $100,000 in fundraising last month, which was very significant. We've just brought on an operations director, Hannah, who I think started two weeks ago. We're working on the final delegate allocations, and you know, something that's of particular importance to me that I've actually been spending a great deal of my time on is the Michigan appeal, which is, I think, more important than most, the Michigan case, excuse me, which is more important than most people realize, which they have appealed to the Sixth Circuit, and that's basically what I've been spending the majority of my time on. I'm actually working on it here, but I would entertain any questions because sometimes I don't really know what's important to the Board of Colorado. Your regional would know that better, but I'd be more than willing to answer any questions you have.
Are there any questions for Ms. Harlos?
Andy has his hand raised.
Is my understanding correct that like at the Michigan level, LP National won, and now they're appealing like the result that didn't go their way?
So there was a motion for preliminary injunction. That's a very, very high bar. So it's not like a final disposition, but it's basically the judge saying, you guys maybe should settle. So they appealed to the appellate court, which is the 6th district, on that issue. Now, what they're making it is a First Amendment issue. This is actually an important case, not just for the LP. This case is important for about 500 trademark holders throughout the United States. This case is far more important, I think, than most people realize. And as libertarians, we might be very, very sympathetic to a First Amendment issue, but just think of something like identity theft. Do you think somebody claiming to be you is a First Amendment issue? Because that's what they're doing. They are stealing the identity of our Michigan affiliate. It's not a First Amendment issue, it's a fraud issue. And if we're gonna turn this into a constitutional issue, our constitutional case is much stronger. We do not choose to associate with them. If you wanna make this a First Amendment issue, it's a freedom of association issue. So that's where we're at. This is a super important case that don't be surprised if 50 years from now, this case is being cited in law. It's become far more important than most people realize.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to board reports. I have nothing further to add to my report, but are there any questions for me about my board report? Mr. Aiken?
What's going on in Chaffee County?
Well, Jennifer's working with a candidate there. Miss Coop is working with a candidate there who is also looking at stepping up to be her vice chair, I believe. And they're trying to get themselves organized a little bit more. She has created significant growth on her Facebook page for that county affiliate. I know that I've tried to get the both of you guys in contact to try and get her trained in the CRM as well as the affiliate outreach materials, which may or may not be something you have to do, but we need to get those to her. So those are the updates I have for Chaffee. I'm not really sure why that's not added to the list of affiliates that we have, but it very much should be. So maybe we should do that. Does that answer your question, Mr. Aiken?
Thank you.
Vice Chair,
Nothing to add, Madam Chair.
are there any questions for Alicia's board report? All right. Mr. Williams, do you have anything to add to your board report?
Nope. So far, the only thing that I've done extra, I guess I have a little bit. We successfully added all the accounts. I'm on everything now, so I should be able to start cleaning up where I can touch on. Then I was able to access the Stripe system, reset the information to my information, and I'm hopefully in the next day or so gonna transfer the accounts that were in that because it's still trying to send money to the PNC bank. So unfortunately, Merle has not been able to close that account because it keeps receiving donations for the state account still. So that should get transferred over shortly. I did take the majority of the funds out of the PNC accounts and put them in the new accounts over at Bank of Colorado. So that's been transferred. Upcoming next is October 16th, I believe, for SOS Tracer and Federal Election Commission's reports due. I'll be working on those this week, at least mad dashing through the weekend to finish it. Make sure we stay on top of things. Once I get done with that, I'll hopefully be able to start addressing the other issues that we have past due. Yeah. I interviewed one of the two assistant treasurers as well today. Dustin, he seemed very knowledgeable and a good option. I haven't heard anything back from the other guy, Michael, yet. Hopefully soon enough. We'll see.
Perfect. I did see that the Secretary of State updated the information. I got the confirmation email as well today. So thank you so much for doing that. Mr. Aiken, I see your hand is raised.
Yes, the total of the PNC plus the FEC account is about $2,700. But you say we've got approximately 33,500.
That was a guesstimate. So I only had access to see the PNC account at the time. There was the 2,700 in the federal account, I believe, and then there was 700 in the state account left over from the PNC accounts. I transferred that money over into the Bank of Colorado account that already existed for the state account. I did not have the exact number. Whatever's on that is probably incorrect, and I'll have to adjust it later on my report. But now that I have access to that account, I have not gotten my online access squared away on that one, but I'm on the accounts, so I should be able to hopefully soon verify the exact funds that we have on hand.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Secretary.
Well, first I would just like to say a big thanks to the treasurer. We're seeing a ton of self-directed progress and really transparent communication about that progress that makes me feel like we're in a healthier spot than we have been in quite a while. So big thanks to Mr. Williams.
Yes, he has definitely taken the weight off of my shoulders on this whole issue. So we very much appreciate it.
The sooner I can get it to where it's as automated as possible and I have to do nothing, the happier I'll be as well.
Yes. All right. Affiliates, do you have anything further to add to your board report?
Nothing additional.
That was a question for the treasurer. I didn't do my report. I apologize.
Oh, sorry.
So nothing to add on my report except that October 26th through November 1st, I'm getting married and will be considerably less available than I usually am. So if you have something that you need from me, I will more than likely not be responding at all during that week. So that's it.
Clear boundaries? I'm sorry. This is the Libertarian Party. We don't respect those.
Yeah. I have to apologize for this. Did you put that on the board report or did you motion to allow this to happen? So if that didn't happen, then I don't think this can go forward.
I did not. You're gonna have to censure me, I guess.
Okay, so affiliates had nothing further to add. Campaigns.
Not really anything at this point to add. Our political directors, I think, are doing a great job that we've hired trying to lock down some of these races here for November, and see where we can go. I think we can get some W's in the fall. So we're going to see. That's really it.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, you have a question?
Jacob, just want to make sure. I know we had talked about a little bit that you had gotten the checks made. Did everyone get paid that needed to get paid for those political directors?
Yes, I overnighted them via UPS today.
Perfect. Communications.
Nothing further to add.
Thank you. Fundraising.
Nothing further to add.
Legislative.
I've got nothing further to add.
Thank you. Membership.
Nothing to add at the moment. I did email Mr. Aiken a little while ago concerning a question, and I can link up with him later concerning the reports. But
Perfect.
Other than that, nothing further.
Okay, great. Let me know if I need to help you with any of that at any time. Outreach.
Nothing to add.
Perfect. Thank you. Staff reports. Database. Mr. Aiken, do you have something for us tonight?
No, I do not.
Perfect. And Mr. Savoy, do you have anything to update us with as technology director?
Yeah, I found an extra microphone in my big bag of fun, so I think you're able to hear us down at the very end of the table a little bit better.
Yeah, I definitely can. I thank you so much for all the hard work you put into getting this functioning. I am just so thankful that you're in this role.
Oh.
All right. Sorry, I'm being okay. Too much emotion. All right. Merchandising committee, Mr. Luria.
So I'm working with Eli right now to try and get this reset back up. I'm hoping this will be done soon. For whatever reason, it doesn't let me save a lot of changes because I'm not Eli, but I'm also logging in with the right login, so I'm not really sure what the problem is. I know Eli's helping me look into it.
Okay, great. I'm very excited to get that up and running. I want you all to know I really would like to have that running by next month. Maybe that's too soon, but I really think we can get it done.
No, I think that's a fair deadline for sure.
I would just love to be able to sell merch again. Mr. Bukovich, you have a question?
I just wanted to point out that Mr. Aiken is his own worst salesman and has done a couple of things that are really exciting this month that I'm personally aware of. For one, he made sure National got all of Colorado's data to get a refresh through a data refresh that National was doing. So all of our contacts in our CRM, we're about to have wealth data and a couple of other things that will allow us to do some more targeted fundraising, as well as some updates to the way our website looks that he got done that make a big difference. So David is working very hard, and he doesn't let people know how hard he is working. So
thank you for letting us know so we can appreciate and thank Mr. Aiken. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, audit committee. I think we have Mr. Kruger here. Do we have Mr. Kruger here to give a report from the audit committee?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. You have the floor.
Yeah, so nothing really to update other than we're scheduling our October meeting. Things are moving forward, but nothing else really to report at this time.
Thank you so much for attending and for chairing that committee. Mr. Bukovich, I'll call you first. You have a question?
no, I just didn't put my hand down. That's why I look so confused.
Oh, Mr. Williams.
Just make sure Michael's the audit committee for the treasurer side.
Yes.
Or is it okay? So on that audit committee, where are we at on that? You said there's a meeting coming up.
Correct. So we haven't set a final date, but we're meeting probably next week just to go over some more preliminary things and kind of set some internal deadlines to make sure that we're on track with everything that we need to get done.
Awesome. I'd love to attend if need be, or if possible, try and help get some kind of forward motion on my stuff.
That sounds great. Once we get a date nailed down, I will send an invite to you as well.
Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Well, we don't have any special orders and we do not have any unfinished business, but we do have new business. So for new business, we have on the agenda the resolution of gratitude for legal services by Mr. Marinovich.
Yes, I can go ahead and read that resolution real quickly. So the resolution reads as is, whereas Gary Fielder provided legal counsel to the Libertarian Party of Colorado pro bono regarding the permanent suspension of the party's official X account, whereas Gary Fielder and James Wiley drafted the cease and desist letter to X on behalf of the Libertarian Party of Colorado pro bono, and whereas Gary Fielder and James Wiley's cease and desist letter to X was successful in overturning the permanent suspension, therefore be it resolved, the Libertarian Party of Colorado expresses its gratitude to Gary Fielder and James Wiley.
So for a resolution like this, do we vote on it, Mr. Bukovich?
Still do any objection to adopt it?
Are there any objections to this resolution thanking both Mr. Fielder and Mr. Wiley? Hearing none, that passes. Now we are up to Andy's addition to the agenda.
Okay, give me 1 sec here to make sure I have the correct text of that motion in the minutes, and then I will tell you guys what I want to do. Okay, so, I don't know if you guys have noticed on the OWL, I have been coming to all of these in-person meetings, and our attendance is pretty up and down. Some of these we've had quite a few board members, many we don't get any. I don't blame anybody. It's quite a lot for many of our board members. It's quite a drive. However, there definitely is some value in getting everybody in a room. So I was hoping to discuss with everybody and maybe make a motion after, like, I'd rather do discussion first. You know what? Let me get a motion on the table and then we can discuss. It's better to do it that way. I move to have a in-person meeting once per quarter and do the rest purely virtually.
There is a motion on the floor to consider moving in-person meetings quarterly and the alternating meetings to being virtual. Let's open the floor for discussion. Are there any objections? Does anyone want to speak to an objection?
If you're gonna allow guests, I would request to speak.
Miss Harlow would like to speak.
Ms. Harlos, you have the floor.
I would highly encourage the board to make a mandatory, or as mandatory as you can get with libertarians, quarterly in-person meeting, but not eliminate an in-person option for the monthly meetings. Just don't make it mandatory for the board. There are some of us who find great value in coming here. Wayne and I have come every year, even when there's been a hostile board. Also, take into consideration that you're nearing the end of at least half of y'all's term, and a future board may feel otherwise. And also, if you lose this space that you have here with the generosity of the Independence Institute, you may never get it back. I've been on a prior LPCO board where we were meeting at Denny's. We were meeting in cramped quarters and I'm not complaining about it because it was the generous donation of, I think, a chiropractor in Castle Rock. But we are so blessed to have what we have here. And those of you who may not know the history of some of the party, and you may consider my participation a curse rather than a blessing, but I got involved with the LPCO because I could go to monthly meetings. I showed up at a monthly meeting and I just never left. Again, you might have different feelings about that, but having the opportunity for people who are interested in the Libertarian Party to come in person is worth so much. But I do think the board does need to come once a quarter. But don't eliminate the monthly option. We're gonna lose the space if you do that. And I would also encourage the board to continue every quarter to send a donation to the Independence Institute.
And that, Ms. Goodman, I would like to withdraw my motion. I just wanted to have something on the table to discuss. So you as the chair can do this unilaterally. I just wanted to have something on the floor while we were discussing this. The concern about the Independence Institute is actually a great one and one that I didn't think of. And if we got to get a skeleton crew down here most of the months to just make sure we have a place to meet, that's what we got to do. So I think we should probably on this one, I can get in contact with the Independence Institute and just see if we could just reserve these quarterly, and if that's going to be a problem. And if it's not, and we're able to still just do these quarterly, we can discuss from that point on.
Okay, so the motion is withdrawn.
Yep.
Mr. Treasurer, I see your hand raised.
I think you just answered my question pretty much with that. Is there a way to keep that as a skeleton crew kind of thing there of if technology was willing to, set up the camera system or something along those lines, so we have a meeting space available for those that could attend in person there, whereas we still have as much of a mandatory without getting on things to come in that quarterly. The only thing I'd say on the quarterly side, it may be a good idea. My personal side of it would be in line with the quarterly reports. Just that way, that's a big one for my job. It's the only thing I can think of that would be in line with, but that's the only, doesn't matter.
Technology, I see your hand raised.
Mr. Atwood,
Pardon me?
you got your hand raised.
I was wanting to second Karen Ann's statement and sort of flip it to always have open meetings here once a month that could be attended in person, in person, and also have the a quarterly mandatory as best can be inflicted on libertarians attendance.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Atwood, for your input. Okay, so the motion is withdrawn. We're moving on to the addition from Ms. King. Ms. King?
Sorry. So we are starting to look at some different location options. And I'm just, what we're running into is a lot of spaces are not necessarily available. So basically I want to preliminarily allocate some money for a deposit. I don't know that any place is going to charge us the full amount up front. But I want to be able to jump on the location once we have one that's working for the dates that we've chosen, which is going to be March 23rd and 24th, 2024. So mark it on the calendars. It's going to be a good one. So I'd like to motion to allocate up to $5,000 for a deposit for a convention location. I just want to clarify, I don't think at all that we're going to put $5,000 down. Last year, that was the total cost of our entire convention. So, or the rental for our space. And that's what I'm aiming for again this year, is for a relatively low total rental space. But I'd like to move to allocate that much. And if there's any discussion, I'm open to hearing it.
We have a motion to allocate $5,000 for a deposit on a location for our upcoming convention. Are there any objections? Is there any discussion? Mr. Treasurer?
Again, because I don't have full access yet, I'm still working on that side. Are we looking good on that side from what you can recall on the Bank of Colorado account to be able to pull that off? No problem.
Yes.
I think only you and Jacob. Okay.
Yes.
And I have no problem with it.
Okay, great. Thank you. As far as I know, all of the largest amount of money that we have is in our state account, and that would easily cover it. So we should be good there. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no objection, that passes. So that concludes our new business for the night. Are there any announcements or more public comment to be made this evening?
Miss Harlos has a comment.
He forgot me.
No, my brain froze on saying Miss Harlos instead of just Karen Ann. It's been a long day.
Would just encourage the Colorado board to continue their push for national members, because we have, I think, lost one delegate or maybe 2 delegates, and we want Colorado to have the biggest voice possible because we're the best affiliate ever. So in these last 2 weeks, you can really be a sleeper. And remember, though this is a nightmare on Andy, so he can beat me up in the alley after this meeting, if the board decided, and you could do this probably by email vote, if there's some people who can't afford to be members, you can sponsor memberships in the name of other people, like I've done for Wayne, though I know, like, Andy right now in his brain is shooting me daggers.
We have no good way to count them.
Yeah, we have no good way to count them. It ends up being manual on my part and Andy's part, but I'm certainly willing to do that for Colorado because I want us to kick ass, so I hope we kick ass in the next 2 weeks.
Mr. Atwood?
I believe my colleague Blake Huber has voiced willingness to finance, to sponsor members. And if necessary, check with him or myself. Thank you.
Also, our vice chairman has offered to buy or sponsor 5 memberships as well. So we definitely have the funds. We just need people to step up and become national members. Mr. Burgesson, I see your hand raised.
I will match the vice chair's donation as well.
Great, so that's 10. On top of
I've offered 1, Madam Chair. I'm sorry I can't do more, but I've offered 1.
So we're at 11, and then Mr. Huber has also offered. I don't know his amount though, so we're doing great on that. We just need to be finding people to step up and become national members. So thank you so much for that reminder. Our next meeting will be November 13th at the Independence Institute at 7 p.m. We hope you all will join us at that date and time for our next meeting. And with that, our meeting is adjourned at 7:44.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, everyone.